You are now tuned in to Picks and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Hey. Let's go.
Season 2, Episode 1. Picks and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Hey, we back. Hey, it's been a long hiatus, man.
It seemed like forever, bro.
Hey, bro, that's that Christmas special, man. It was about a month.
Yeah, well.
Close to a month.
I'm happy to be back, though.
Hey, listen, man.
You know, we got a lot to talk about, man. And what we got for the people today, bro?
Hey, I know I missed our fans. What about you?
Oh, definitely.
I missed them, right?
I missed the communication, the likes, the shares.
Yeah.
You know.
But today, we're going to go ahead and drop off that NCAA championship game between Ohio State and Alabama.
That was a great game, man. Number 6. Heisman Trophy winner.
Deion Smith. I mean, it was a great game for him, but I don't think it was a great game for Ohio State. Especially when they lost Sermon.
I was entertained.
So when they lost their running back Sermon, it didn't go too well for them.
Yeah, we'll get into that. You know, but I feel
then we got not only that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I felt like it was a good game, and Devontae Smith got to put on the show.
I mean, he been doing that all year. He just solidified. It's like he put the topper on his cake.
Icing on the cake, brother.
Yeah, and
we also got to talk about this coaching carousel, but how somehow
NFL coaches,
the African American coaches ain't getting a shot here.
It's crazy. It's real crazy. No. It's crazy. We're gonna talk about the NFL head coaching vacancies and the jobs and the hiring process and that so-called Rooney Rule, and is it even utilized?
Is it working?
You know, and then we also want to bring out that good old NBA. We told y'all before Christmas break, we knew NBA was coming back the week before Christmas. We here now.
Go Lakers, baby.
James Harden was like 20 pounds over. Next thing you know, when he left Houston, he was like a skinny person.
That was crazy.
So we got a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But before we break
before that, we got to talk about the Mavs of the Steelers. I got a bone to pick with y'all as well.
Are you pissed now? Are you mad?
I'm pissed off.
Are you mad?
I'm pissed off.
So when I was sounding like a Steelers hater and I'm a fan, I was being honest. It all came to fruition. But we're going to get into that. You're a con man too, because he's a con. But at the end of the day, before we go ahead and break off into segments, we're going to go ahead and give a shout out and an RIP to Hank Aaronman, the Home Run King,
Home Run King. God bless his soul. Did a lot of things for African Americans in baseball.
Broke them barriers, bro. Him and Jackie.
He did.
Not just them two, but they were pivotal in the front seat in breaking down the barriers for African Americans in the Major League Baseball Association.
Much respect. My condolences. Our condolences go out to his family.
But with that, we're gonna go ahead and break off.
In segment 1.
Let's get it. Picks and Push Sports Talk Radio. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, we're going to jump right into the NCAA championship. So,
yeah, let's.
So, it was an entertaining game at first, man, until they got blew out, man. Shout out to Nick Saban. He won his 7th national college championship, which is an amazing feat in itself.
He's a beast at recruiting.
I mean,
he's great at recruiting.
They're going to get 5-star recruits. Everybody wants to go there.
Right. Everybody wants to go there because he's there. Imagine when the name changed at the head coach. Until that head coach is proven, the name Alabama just don't carry the talent. You got to be able to, as a coach, to gel and put all that talent together. But he does a great job at recruiting, man.
Well, he doesn't even have to recruit because basically,
if you
want to play for a championship,
you want to go to
Alabama, you want to go to Clemson.
Right.
Maybe Ohio State.
Right. Maybe Notre Dame.
Right. You know what I mean? That's a no-brainer.
Right.
You go there to win. You go to them schools to win championships.
And that's true. That's very true. But the SEC as a whole, when it comes to recruiting,
yeah, I mean,
nonetheless,
maybe NFL. That's your best chance to probably get into the league.
Yeah,
the SEC.
You get into the SEC. It's like your opportunities of hitting that highlight of I want a pro career is even greater when you're in the SEC, and not to diminish the Big Ten, the Big East, the Pac-12, and none of them, but the SEC and the SEC got two different divisions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They got that many teams. It's like the East and the West.
East and the West. Yeah,
but not to mention, so we go ahead and get back to the game where Ohio State lost. I I think the turning point for Ohio State was when Sermon went down. Because if you think about it,
that was early in the game, right? Like
it was in the first quarter. It was the first quarter,
yeah.
Right? So if you think back to Ohio State's last 2 games, right? You got your the Big Ten championship, right? Where he ran for almost 300 yards.
Threw for over 300.
No, the running back Sermon ran for over close to 300 yards. Right. Then in that game against Clemson, killed Clemson. Clemson couldn't do nothing with him. So to me, he was the X factor for Ohio State because it made Ohio State not one-dimensional, where teams couldn't just focus on Justin Fields. Because if you remember, the receivers and Justin Fields really wasn't clicking in that Clemson game. It was the running game that propelled Ohio State's offensive passing game. So when he went out, I just thought that the whole opportunity of the opportunities left for Justin Fields. I feel they became one-dimensional. They almost had to pass their way out. And even though the backup running back came in and
Master T did a nice job. He did about 70 yards,
he
2 touchdowns.
But it's a different mindset, right? Because when you know that you got to prepare for a guy like Sermon and as running backs, and you got a running back that can catch and run out the backfield, and he provides that spark. Like at any given moment, he can hit that switch, and it's a turning point for your team, right? We know that offense can propel the defense to get more involved in the game. When the defense feel like they've been on the field too long, they get drained. But when they see their offense out there putting in work, they get excited. You know what I'm saying? Now they want to be on the field.
I put some of that blame on Fields, man. I felt like he had to have a game like the Clemson game for them to have a chance. 194 yards passing, not going to do it. 1 touchdown is not going to do it.
Alabama
67 rushing yards is not going to do it. I felt like he had to have a monster game like he had with Clemson for them to have a chance. He played all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you playing Alabama, you got to have the best game of your life. You know what I mean?
And I agree. I definitely agree. But it's like when it came to the weapons at his disposal, like he had a running back that was good, right? A running back. Alabama got 2. Like when Najee Harris went out, they ain't must have beat.
What's number 4's name? I forget.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
But when he left out, when Najee Harris went out, he must have beat.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields did not have all the weapons at his disposal like Alabama did. You know, like Matt, they ain't have no issues.
It ain't Alabama's fault that
they got Waddle back, man. Smith was already killing. You know,
dogging him out.
Najee Harris, whenever he went out, you know, the backup running back was coming in just like he was.
Hey, hold on. Speaking of Najee Harris. Hey, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Please go get this
chance
dude.
to get Najee Harris. Please get a running back or pick Najee up. Please.
Don't rely on Connor. Sorry.
All right, yeah. Back to the football. I just had to throw that
in there. NCAA. Yes, that's what I want us to get to.
Yeah, he's a dog though.
But when it came to that whole championship game, man, once Sermon went out, there was really nothing that Ohio State can do. Like they couldn't move the ball in the air like that because they became one-dimensional. And you know what happens when a team becomes one-dimensional? Your DBs can sit on routes.
Right.
You know, and the D-line can just pin their ears back and
So let me ask you this. With Ohio State only playing 7 games, do you feel that they should have even been in the conversation or even been in the playoffs?
Nope.
Why?
Because of their conference, because they're in such a big conference, I don't think that they should have jumped Texas A&M or even Florida. I think those teams deserved it because at the end of the day, they played a total of 11 to 12 games when Ohio State, at the end of the day, even including the championship game, only played 7 or 8. I don't feel like that was just due. You know, because you had a lot of other teams, a lot of other schools that are out there from the beginning, grinding, fighting through COVID. And the SEC said, no, we ain't going to play. And then they was like, hold on, maybe we can get a piece of this pie still. And then they came back late, was like, all right, we're going to go ahead and jump in. I don't think they should have. I don't think they should have did it, man.
I felt like they put them in there because of must-see TV because Justin Fields been on TV
I
with
get it.
Netflix and all
But
that.
it was just him.
More revenue, more watchers because of that.
Dabo Swinney said it best. Dabo said, I place Ohio State at number 11. I cannot place a team that has played less than 6 games in the top 10. And I agree with him. Like, I agree with him. Like, that's crazy.
I agree they shouldn't have been in. Let's ask some of the Piss and Push audience. Piss and Push audience, do y'all feel that Ohio State should have been in the college football playoffs because they only played 7 games? Yes or no? Please leave them in the comments and let us know why, and we'll get back to y'all.
So, in regards to the game, though, listen. Ohio State, honestly, I don't even really feel like they prepared defensively the way they had like 2 weeks to do it, bro. There's no way you put a defensive scheme in where you leave your linebacker on Smith. Smith goes to the slot, and your safety don't pick him up, or you don't shift corners to pick him up, and you leave a linebacker on him. That was the easiest touchdown he probably had all year.
It comes down to schemes, man. They had schemes. What they was doing with Smith, if you notice,
They
most of his
moved him around a lot.
touchdowns was through motion.
Right, through the slot.
Misdirections and motion.
Right, but
So,
what I'm saying is
they out-schemed them.
But they've been doing that. It ain't like Alabama just came to the national championship game and had a light bulb and was like, oh, like Steve Sarkisian was just sitting there like, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna put Smith in motion and they've been doing that all year.
Well, I mean, they kind of switched it up. So let me ask you this: with Mac Jones, all right, do you feel that he's an NFL quarterback?
I don't think
Can he start in the NFL?
I think he can start in the NFL, but I hate to compare him this way. But when I see a Mac Jones, I think about Mason Rudolph. Mason had a very good collegiate career at Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him and James Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Mason was killing at OSU. But when it became to transcending that talent from a level from college to the NFL, Mason has not been able to put that formula together like I thought he would. And I thought with him having James Washington on the same team gave him some type of comfort. Because one thing as a quarterback is that continuity is real.
Right.
So when you have somebody that you've been throwing to for the last 3 years and y'all was killing the stats and the career stats at OSU, I really thought that they was going to be able to merge that into the field for the Steelers. And Mason showed that the game was faster for him than maybe he thought, because
I agree.
He seemed very slow. He seemed slow on reading the defense and knowing where his second and third options were. He just seemed real discombobulated.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna tell you why. All right, so I'm gonna say no, he's not an NFL quarterback because you could put an adequate quarterback at Alabama with all the 5-star talent around them. They're gonna look great.
They're gonna look awesome, and you know why? There's one stat that I really wish they stopped giving quarterbacks, but it's hard to not give it because they toss the ball. But if you throw a 3-yard slant, man, and that receiver or that running back take it 90+ yards, and they say, oh, the quarterback killed. Hold on, man. Hold on. He got a lot of help. That's yak. That's yards after catch. If you look at a lot of these stats for quarterbacks, and if you really broke down Phillip Rivers' 60,000 plus or Ben Roethlisberger's 60,000 plus yards that they've thrown over their illustrious careers, and if you really pulled up how much was really from yak, bro, it'll almost cut into half of their yardage.
Bro, it's still a pass.
It's a pass, but I'm tired of the quarterback getting that credit like he was just diming it all the time. Like, no.
So you feel there needs to be a change to statistics?
No, I think there needs to be more of a identification of a statistic to say who is actually a great passer versus who has a lot of yards.
Or because more talent around them.
Because Ben Roethlisberger, and we're getting off topic, I'm going to just bring it in just because of that question, is not an accurate passer. He's not a pinpoint passer. So when you say Ben is pushing 60,000, I'm not looking at it like, Ben was lighting up the field like he was just throwing it all over the field. Of course, we know quarterbacks get yardage when we're down. That's when they get most of their yardage.
Okay, so without us even having to switch topics, let's just go right into the Stiller situation.
No. Let's keep it because we want to keep the NFL. Let's keep it. I feel is not doing NCAA justice if we throwing the NFL with their segment. But I agree, and that's why I said that topic is going to take some time because I really want to ask you some questions that I really disagreed with then, and I wholeheartedly disagree with now in regards to our beloved team. But in regards to the NCAA, Alabama is the top tier. Clemson.
Always, every year.
Regardless of...
Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, O State, Penn State is shaking.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I've always said that...
Florida.
I've always had an eye looking down on Clemson because of who they play. And I've always feel like your competition is your greatest test to whom you really are. It measures you as to who you really are. And I feel that the ACC does not measure Clemson in the way that it really should nationally. But Clemson has proven to me that when they play against national teams, when they play against those big top teams, that they can play on the same field with them. And I'll tip my hat to Clemson because I slighted them a lot, But Clemson's shown that it doesn't matter if it's the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the SEC. They're going to play with you at that level.
All right, quick question before we switch segments. Who does Devontae Smith remind you of, former player or past player? Former player or past player, if you could compare him to anybody.
It's funny, right? And I was thinking about the Devontae Smith. And I think there's a receiver that I used to like a lot when I was younger, man. That I watched a lot, and that was Eric Metcalf. Like, Eric Metcalf, if he had better quarterbacks, man, the Bernie Kosar and all them guys he had in Cleveland, Eric Metcalf could have had a Hall of Fame career.
Smaller receiver,
he was,
right? Smaller.
Yeah, and that's why I compare with him because of size. Or like a Steve Smith, because their height ain't going to kill defensive backs. They ain't going to win a jump ball. They're going to outmuscle you. They're going to run past you, and every now and then they're going to come across the middle. They're going to take that hit. They're going to show you they can take a hit, and all it does is build character. But Eric Metcalf, he was always in the Pro Bowl for punt and kick returns. But if they would have really had somebody that can get him the ball from a quarterback position, man, he'd have been such a dope player at the wide receiver spot.
I guess that's a high comparison. I would say I would compare him to Randy Moss. Why? Deceptive speed. He gets separation. The tough catches he makes. And the yak, man. And he's slim. Same type of build coming out of college, but that's who he reminds me of. And I hope he has a great NFL career, man. I hope he goes to a good team and he's able to showcase his talents, man. I like dude, man.
I can see why you comparing to Randy. I think the only difference is their height. I look at Randy can jump over anybody.
Long strides. He has long strides.
But he did have deceptive speed because he looks lanky and people like, he ain't going, but he had that stride. When he was at Marshall, it was like he was just running past everybody. But he looked like he was doing it in slow motion. But I like you said, I wish nothing but that young man the best success going forward, man. I hope
keep doing your thing, young man.
I hope he gets to a team that can actually utilize and work on his weaknesses, but at the same time sharpen his strengths.
Honestly, I feel he has minimal weaknesses, man. He could catch, he could run. I just feel like he has to bulk up.
And I was about to say he need to get his weight up.
That's it. Honestly, I think he has everything. I think he has high football IQ.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's deceptively fast. He has great hands.
He reads defenses very well.
You know what I mean? So I think he'll be all right, man. He just got to pack on a little bit of muscle.
I agree, man.
Shout out to Alabama.
Yeah, big ups.
Congratulations, and shout out to Nick Saban, man. 7 championships. Pits and Push.
Sports Talk Radio. Hey, let's go NBA.
And we're back, man.
NBA.
So, what do we have here? Do we have another super team on our hands here with the Brooklyn Nets?
It seems like they're trying to do. Where the hell is the NBA commissioner to stop this from going through like they stopped Chris Paul coming from our Lakers?
Hey, this
I'm still salty about that if y'all ain't know.
This is the new norm, man.
Like, Chris Paul could have teamed up with Kobe and been at a ring.
It's no more working for it, man. You call your boys, yo, let's win this chip.
James Harden, dog, you...
I don't think it's gonna work. Nothing works with James Harden.
That's what I was about. And I don't... I'm so glad you said it, because I'm an optimistic person. But when it comes to James Harden, man, bro...
So the first who was his first teammate that didn't work out?
It was Russell. It was Russell and KD and OKC.
Yeah,
he was coming off the bench.
Right.
Then he went to Houston, and they was throwing him talent in Houston, and they still couldn't get past anything in Houston, and they was giving him max deals in Houston, and he was putting up points, but he don't play no D.
Yeah, so how is that going to work with 3 ball dominant players?
He don't play. Well, you seen the first game, it was okay. 42 for KD, 30 plus for him. Kyrie didn't play. But then you see when KD didn't play, he had like 19. Kyrie had like 20. Like, hey man, listen.
Super team, yes.
And
Will it work? I don't know, bro.
You know what's funny is when he criticized the defensive efforts because they lost 2 this week to Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. And he said, we got to play tough on defense. How can anybody in his class say anything about playing tough on D when you never played D? Dog, that's not your specialty. You can't criticize something you're not even good at.
Yeah, you know, we've had conversations about this on past podcasts.
How is it that he's criticizing D stepping up when he ain't never stepped up to play D?
Like I said before, you can't be an MVP candidate if you're not playing both sides of the ball.
Anyways, we know the Lakers is taking it, hands down.
So before we get off the Nets, do you feel that can work with those 3 guys?
Hey, to be honest with you, the only way it's going to work is KD. KD is the gel to that working. I'm going to tell you why. KD is capable of leading that team. Kyrie is capable of following. Kyrie criticized and tried to make it seem like he wasn't a capable Robin to LeBron in Cleveland and said that LeBron didn't trust him to take the big shot. So
I remember that.
In regards, though, I understand why LeBron didn't feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Kyrie showed up in moments, but Kyrie wasn't consistent in moments. KD is consistent in moments. KD, in my opinion, if you would have gave KD the team that Russell Westbrook had at OKC when they let KD go, I think KD would have been able to take that team a little bit further than Russell Westbrook did. But when KD got to Golden State, KD didn't drop. OKC still thrived. Matter of fact, OKC was above the meter, and they still had Steph Curry and Clay. But their production didn't drop. They all ate, right? Clay still got his nights. Steph still got his nights. KD got his nights.
But all of those guys weren't Super Bowl dominant. They were more of
but they're shooters. But they're shooters.
But not ball. Give me the ball guys. They're not give me the ball.
The only people that are give me the ball is James and Kyrie.
But that's what I'm saying.
But that is why Cleveland didn't thrive when it was Kyrie when LeBron left, and that is why James and Houston didn't thrive when it was just James.
I don't feel.
To me, James is the person that really throws it all off. I really felt good when it was KD and Kyrie. When James inserted himself, I now said, okay, this is a problem. This is a problem for Kyrie. Kyrie was okay with sharing with KD, but now you got to share with KD and James. When you just was critical of LeBron about not trusting you with that shot, you think you're gonna get the shot now? When you got those 2 on the team, you really ain't getting that shot.
He's definitely a me guy. I don't see it working, man.
I don't see it at all. But what I really want to talk about, that elephant in the room, no pun intended, how James went from being chubby in Houston and skinny in New Jersey?
Well, I mean, when you're an athlete, you could do that. You could drop 10 pounds in a day.
In a
I've
week?
done it. I've done it,
bro.
I've done it before. So
Hey, bro, that's
not impossible.
Hey, that was Avon Barksdale, the Wire type crack deal
Nah,
right there, bro.
it's different when your body can break down. Like when you're constantly working out, your body can break down and burn fat.
Hey, bro, let me ask you.
I've done it before, so
listen.
That's not
if you can get me that now, Nick. I mean, I'm sorry, push.
Yeah.
If you can get me from his joint to now, I don't even want to talk about it no more. He's not a defensive player. I don't want to spend too much time on him. The Nets are not going to win. Period, because there's too many ball hawks.
Shout out to LeBron James for winning Sportsman of the Year, the Muhammad Ali Award. I just wanted to touch on that. He deserved it.
Absolutely.
Activist, opened up the school for low income.
Hey.
And the last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here.
Send us off on the NBA. I like that touch. Send us off on that, bro.
Look.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you saw this, but Karl Malone criticized Zion Williamson for not playing over 40 minutes. Does he have the right to do that?
He does, because he's a former player, Hall of Fame. He has a right because of the profession. So anybody that plays that sport is going to criticize when they feel that somebody is lacking or not giving enough of what they really have. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but everybody's pulling all these, the negative
People
stuff
go
about
low.
Karl Malone.
People go low.
Listen,
what Michelle Obama say? Shout out to Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high.
Ain't no question.
Let's get it. We're going to end on that note. Picks and Push. Sports Talk Radio. Hey, we back.
Picks and Push.
Listen.
NFL, let's get to it.
This is the meat of it all, right? So, let's go ahead and just jump into the playoffs. My picks, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Kansas City is a lot more solidified on offense and special teams than Buffalo for me. Buffalo's defense has the edge over Kansas City's, but Kansas City's offense can score on anybody. So I'm picking KC. Tampa and Green Bay, it comes down to what defense can stop who. I think Tampa's defense has a better chance at stopping Green Bay than Green Bay's defense stopping Tom Brady. Your thoughts, your picks.
Fair analysis. I'm taking the Chiefs in the AFC. Even though Mahomes is halfway himself, I see him out playing the Bills. And on the NFC, I got Rodgers, man. Rodgers is just on fire to me.
He is. I
it don't matter who he playing. He just lit up the Rams, the best pass defense in the league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That boy's on fire right now.
It's just hard for me to bet against Brady, man. Like,
just
given the dominance he's done in the AFC,
I understand.
It's like he changed conferences and he's still there. He's still
doing it. So was it him or was it Belichick?
We'll see. We'll see, because remember, the story has always been, it's the system. It ain't Brady. They've always taken that from Brady coming out of Michigan. It ain't him. It's the system. But remember, when McDaniels left, they still won.
Yeah.
And Belichick don't call offense. He called defense. But, okay, so who's your pick for the Super Bowl? I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs over Tampa, so you got Chiefs and Green Bay. So who you got winning?
So on that aspect, you got your older guy, your older statesman, I guess. Got Rodgers, the old head that been on the block. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you got the young boy, the young stud, the young pick coming up, young Mahomes. The best of the old, best of the young.
That's.
I gotta pick the Chiefs, man, because
ain't arithmetic. Pick your team.
Yeah, the Chiefs, though.
Of course.
I'm picking the Chiefs. It is arithmetic. It's come down to numbers. I don't see them being able to keep up with the Chiefs.
I don't see no team that's built to keep up with the Chiefs offensively. Okay.
But you got to be able to run the ball to beat them. You got to keep the ball out of their hands. You know what I mean?
Kansas City. Eric Bieniemy. Why has he not? Why is teams not waiting, or why are they so quick to get a head coach and not wait for him I feel that, man. What Rooney Rule? What is the Rooney Rule again? Like, is it like what is utilization for it? Because I don't understand how this man is still. Yeah, Judge in New York Giants got a job, and he was a damn special teams coordinator. Vance Joseph's got 1 year in Denver. One year. 1 year is all he got in Denver. And he got a team that he inherited. It wasn't his team. And they let him go immediately. But then I look at Adam Gase. This man went from the Dolphins to the Jets, and he was piss poor in Miami. What made him think he was going to do better in New York? And they still get, like, they allowed this man to be GM and coach for the most part of the season. He criticized the signing of Le'Veon Bell. He didn't like Jamal Adams. He ostracized himself as the head leader of his team. But yet he was given chance after chance after chance by Woody Johnson and them Jets. But yet Vance Joseph, he got 1 year, and that was it. Like, man. And here we are still talking about the fact that Eric Bieniemy is still not a head coach. Matt Patricia got a chance to be the damn head coach of the Detroit Lions, and he stunk.
Yeah, you know it. You know what it is.
I know, right? But it's
like
the principle. But it's the principle, man. It's like when do that like when blatancy no longer is relevant, so we can't be like, that's what it is. Like come on.
You know, with this situation, man, I just like to keep my mouth shut because I get myself in trouble.
Bro,
it's not fair.
Bro, we got people calling. We even got Steeler fans that are calling and saying Mike Tomlin need to be fired. Yo, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his entire NFL coaching career. No. Not one losing season. And we want to just chalk it all up to Mike Tomlin as an issue. Not the fact that Kevin Colbert got 70% say-so over who we pick, who we draft, who we bring in the offseason. Mike Tomlin can make a suggestion or a recommendation, but Mike ain't calling the shots. Let's be clear. But yet we want to say Mike can go. Why? Because we keep letting Ben run our team? Because Ben cannot take us where we need to go no more? Because his arm ain't nowhere near what, and his legs are nowhere near than what it was in those the games when we played against the Seattle Seahawks when he threw for 124 yards, but we still won a Super Bowl. Like, come on.
Yeah, we had a good defense. Yeah, the Steelers.
Like, come on.
He should restructure his deal.
Man, restructure to retire.
Yeah.
I'm not sold. Haskins, not sold on you either. Welcome to the family, but not sold on you. We got 4 bums in the quarterback position right now. Ben, Dobbs, Rudolph, and Haskins.
Dobbs a free agent.
I don't care. He's still a bum. He on our roster right now still. Bro, like...
Yeah, man.
The way we performed in that game against Cleveland, man, that hurt me as a football player and a fan. Like, it was borderline disrespectful for the fact for Pittsburgh to even come on the field.
For sure.
Like, I would have rather see the Miami Dolphins go to the playoffs than the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Miami's offense actually has over time, over the last few weeks, whether it's Fitzpatrick or Tua, they possess the ball. They can get first downs. Forget about points. We can't even get first downs, man. We can't even get 10 yards in 3 plays.
Yeah, no, the offense was abysmal at best.
And we got folks, Steelers fans, at best saying Ben Roethlisberger did what he could. Oh, Ben threw for over 500 yards against the Cleveland Browns. Are we serious? Any reasonable football player knows that once your team gets behind, the running the ball go out the window. First off, we can't run the ball anyways. So he was going to get over 500 yards. We were throwing the ball for over 50 times for the last 4 games. Oh, he got over 500 yards. He had a good game. Ben Roethlisberger had 2 yards in the first quarter of that Cleveland Brown game, and you want to tell me he did a good job? You want to tell me Ben ain't the problem? You want to say everything else on offense need to go but Ben, but you want to bring in a new coordinator to teach this old dog new tricks?
I feel like we need a running back for sure to help balance out the offense, man. Without a run game, we ain't doing nothing.
I feel our offense disrespected our defense. If I was a defensive player, and I'm all about continuity and I'm all about teamwork, but at the end of the season, man, they should have had, like, the defensive players, even those backup defensive players like Avery Wilson and Spillane, they should have looked at the offense and be like, what was your part? Like, we was holding our side of the ball. We were getting you turnovers in red zone situations, and y'all couldn't even get in field goal position because we was taking sacks or we was taking loss for yards.
We couldn't move the ball.
Bro, that's sad.
They was running them screens.
Bro, if I see another goddamn wide receiver screen, I'm going to smack my TV, man.
We don't do QB sneaks.
4th and 1, we in a shotgun.
Come on, man.
We in a shotgun. Ben is 6'4", 6'5".
Just lean forward, right?
All you got to do is fall forward.
Just lean forward.
4th and 1, right? We go to that wheel route. To the game that we lost. We go to a wheel route on 4th and 1 to McFarland.
McFarland, yeah.
3rd and 7, we throw a 2-yard slant to Juju against the Cincinnati Bengals where he got his head torn off.
I remember that.
We was watching an entire spot that night. How? The play calling, the decisions that Ben make. We need 1 yard, Ben want to go for 40. We can't throw it 40 yards. We need 9 yards, he go for 2. Then there was times where he was throwing in triple and quadruple coverage. He's throwing behind, he's throwing in front, he's throwing low, he's throwing high. Okay, our receivers was dropping balls. I give you that, right? Everybody kept saying, and specific Steelers fans were saying, well, we dropped a lot of balls, particularly in that game against Cincinnati. Our offense is trash. Pouncey got paid. I ain't never seen Pouncey make a snap like that ever in his career.
No, that was
He
like
threw
a
that to
bad
like
omen.
17 yards. He threw it high and deep.
That was crazy. That was a bad omen for the game because it was a wrap. It was all downhill from there. Couldn't stop the run. Bully.
Then we threw an
around.
interception, 2 interceptions. Like, we went down 21 points, 24 points in the first quarter.
Bruh, they was up by like 30 in the first half. That shit was crazy. I was
Why?
mad. I went to sleep.
Why are we holding on to Ben? Like I don't get it, man. We know Ben was coming to the end of his ropes, but we still ain't draft a quarterback. Like, I don't understand the mindset. Why do they, like, what is it that Ben is telling them behind closed doors that they're really like, that's our guy. He's going to take us there. Like, why can't they see the decline? Before Ben got hurt last year, you saw the decline. The year before that, you saw the decline. The year before that, Ben threw 15 interceptions to the Jacksonville Jaguars alone in one season. And what did Ben say? I think I need to retire. If I can no longer play at the level that I've been playing at, then I need to give it up. Ben, you say that a lot, and I listen to your press conferences every Tuesday before Mike Tomlins, and you always say everybody need to look in the mirror, and it starts with me, and I take accountability. You said that for the last 6 weeks of our season, and you perform piss poorly every single game. Every game. So what is it that you actually are looking in the mirror and you're going to say to yourself, I really need to hang it up because I'm only hurting my team. I'm not helping us. The Pittsburgh Steelers last year, when you were out, we was number 29th in rushing in the NFL. In rushing, we had everybody and their grandmother at quarterback. We get you this year, you're supposed to strengthen the offense. Our offense is supposed to be better than what it was last year when we had no quarterback. With Ben coming back, our offense is going to be so much better. We ranked 30th in rushing this year. 30th. So we went backwards with Ben at quarterback. So what is it that's going to make a difference, man? Ben, we was horrible at rushing last year. We was horrible at running this year. But Ben ain't changed that. Teams ain't say, let's respect Ben. Ben ain't getting that respect that he was getting in his first 8 years.
No, he ain't.
Because they know Ben ain't moving the pocket.
No, you right.
Ben step up when he should step back. Ben step back when he should step up. Ben holds the ball and he'll take a 15-yard sack instead of throwing it out of bounds. Man,
a wily veteran like Favre type dude, man.
Tomlin. Stop letting Ben call the punt team off on 4th down. Please don't ever let Ben go like this for the punt team to stay on the sideline. Tomlin, we struggle to get first downs. We averaged like 3 first downs a first half. And we allow Ben to, no, we got this. What we got? When have we ever had a 3rd and 1, bro, and we was like, oh, we got this. Like, we was confident about it. We be in 31 this year, we be sweating.
Shotgun and what is y'all doing?
We in a shotgun formation.
Put the fullback in there.
Why did we get Derek Watt? We ain't even using our fullback this year. Right. Why did we get Derek Watt?
Called Randy Fitchner. Horrible play call.
Randy Fitchner's.
Horrible play.
This was Randy Fitchner's playbook. Front and backwards. Front and backwards. This was his playbook. Swear on everything I love. It was one game I was watching and I said his playbook looked like an 8x11 printout. But if you look at Andy Reid, he got about 8 of these front and back. And you know what our playbook says? Wide receiver screen, run, draw, fade, streak, slant, post, post flag post, wide receiver screen, running back screen. We can't leave the running backs out. Running back screen, wide receiver bubble. Like, bro, that's all we did this year.
Yeah, right.
It didn't make sense. And then there was some routes, I swear, Brandon Fincher is horrible. There was some routes where we would be in a shotgun formation and Claypool and Johnson would go on a route. And we would have Samuels, the running back, and James Washington just standing on the edges, not even running a route. So we only had 2-man routes in a shotgun formation. When have you ever seen a 4-receiver set with 2 routes only and 2 receivers standing parallel to the quarterback like, I guess I'm open? Pittsburgh disappointed, bro. Everybody was happy because we went 11-0.
Took that loss to Washington.
But I told you, even at 11-0, I wasn't solid about us. Yeah. I kept saying, even at 11-0, we wasn't strong because we struggled with teams that was losing. Like our first 9 games was like teams was 13-38, and we struggled.
Yeah,
it's sad, bro.
No, we went downhill after we played Washington. They pretty much
Washington exposed us. Well, I'm sorry, Washington didn't expose us. Washington showed teams how to capitalize and finish us off. Dallas couldn't capitalize and finish us off.
Yeah, that's
Dallas had us. Bro, Pittsburgh got to do better. Our defense cannot continue to be put in those situations.
To see the coaches, man.
And we look to lose a lot of people this year.
Yeah, I know.
And Ben ain't one.
We always do good in the
draft. Can we give Bud Dupree Ben's $21 million? Like, we seen what happened when Bud Dupree left. Alex Highsmith isn't our answer right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm done. I don't got nothing else to say about Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah,
they disappointing, bro.
It was
from a football person, from a fan and a player, like
had you to bring you down.
That was disappointing.
It was.
And then you got Juju talking trash. They the same old Browns.
Get his head.
And then he said it. And then he said it after the game. They still the same old Browns. Yeah, they the same old Browns that just embarrassed us. I thought Cincinnati embarrassed us on that Monday night game, bro. Cleveland embarrassed us because Cleveland not only was physical, it was like we were getting bullied on the field, man.
Oh man, I think it was
like
bad.
We was getting bullied. Like I swear I was seeing people trying to get up, and Cleveland Brown players kneeling us, like giving us a knee to knock us back down. Like the movie The Wildcats. You remember that? With Wesley Snipes and Goldie Hawn was the head coach. She was coaching the high school football team. You don't remember that movie? The Wildcats with Goldie Hawn? Oh man. It's a classic. I love it. That's when I became a Goldie Hawn fan.
Oh yeah.
No, Little Giants.
Oh, that's the O'Sheas. The Giants and the Cowboys, the O'Sheas. But nevertheless, man, what's your thoughts on us, man? Like, what's your take on James Conner?
I feel like, I mean, he's not that. I rock with him. He just ain't the answer for the Steelers or what we need to be doing next year to be successful. I feel like we should try to get a young guy coming out of the draft.
Najee Harris.
Hopefully he'll be there. I like him.
Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
I don't think Etienne would do good with us. He's too small. He's like an Amos Zaraway when we tried to draft him.
His game do remind me of Amos Zaraway.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to get a young stud at running back, man. Get that running game back. That'll open up the play action. Tight ends coming across the middle. We already got the outside threats, man. I feel like Ben need to restructure if he feel like we could be successful, because we could keep some key pieces like Juju. You know what I mean? Maybe we could talk Juju, throw Juju a little bit more money, keep him around.
I'd rather focus on Bud than Juju.
I mean, yeah. See, J.J. Watt. They were saying J.J. Watt wanted to come play with his brothers.
I don't want JJ.
I mean, I don't know, but still, that'll help.
He's done. He still got fire in it, but he ain't the same JJ.
No.
Yeah.
But he here with his brothers, so that's a motivating factor in itself. All three playing with all three of your brothers on the same NFL team. That's crazy. Imagine that. That's like me, you, and E on the Steelers on defense, sacking dudes all day. Come on, bro.
Yeah, honey.
You know.
Hey, okay, so we both picked Kansas City to win a Super Bowl, right?
I'm taking.
I'm taking Kansas City. I'm clear about that.
I'm gonna take Rodgers in the bowl.
You taking? Okay.
Taking Rodgers.
Green Bay, Kansas City. I don't even have Green Bay in the Super Bowl, so win-win for him. I got Kansas City and Tampa. He got KC and Green Bay. He got Green Bay winning. I got Kansas City winning. Shout out to my man Le'Veon Bell. You about to get a ring. You deserve it. But on that note, we ain't gonna hold you guys. We appreciate the love. Season 2,
yes, sir.
Episode 1. We're back.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Pits and Push.
Sports Talk Radio. Hey.
You are now tuned in to Pits and Push
Sports Talk Radio.
Hey. Season 2, we gone. Let's get it.
Ch-ch-chill.